Hello and welcome back. So now we want to see how to show and hide our details panel. Okay, so all we have to do is remove this class and that's it, right? And then we can find that. So what I want to do is copy this so I can find it. I'm going to go to my function here. So remember that there's a parent thingy here that we'll be doing. So what I will do is I will say var row is equal to e.target. Instead of tag name, we're just going to say dot parent node, like that. So the parent of whatever we click on should be a row. Then we're going to say var details is equal to row.query selector. So find something in there. Query selector dot, because we are looking for a class of that kind of thing. And then all we need to do is tell it details dot style dot class list dot remove. So we remove the hide. All right, so now keep in mind that there will be multiple of these because this is inside a loop. So there will be a row, and each row will have a div that has the details of that particular row. So there will be many divs that have this same class. But the reason this is going to work for a particular one div is because once we click anywhere on this row, we're going to get a table data element, and then we'll check for its parent, which is the row here, and then we're going to tell the row that inside this row find an item that is named that has this class. Once we find it, display that one. So it's going to always display the one on the row that you clicked. So let's just see if that actually works. So I'm going to refresh and click here, and as you can see now it's actually showing. It's showing. The only problem is it's showing behind the row that comes down here. So maybe we should add a little bit of some z index or z index. Let's see if that helps. So let's go details here, and then we're going to say z index. Let's just give it an index of 2 because the default should be 0 if I'm not mistaken. So 2 is ahead of time. Okay, so as you can see now it's on top of everything else. But the problem is I can't shut it off. That is a problem. So how exactly do I shut it off? So all I can do is check if it already has this hide class, then I remove it. If it doesn't, then I add it. So let's put an if statement here. Say if details.class list. Let me copy all this because it's kind of similar. So I'm going to say dot contains, like that. So if the class list contains hide, then what do? We remove it. So, or else we do something else, we add it. So let me copy that, put it here. So if it already contains it, we remove it. If it doesn't, we add. That should solve our problem. So refresh, click, 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 click. Okay, so things are working, but I'm trying to see if it will work for this as well. Ah, there we go. It works as well. Now the reason why it works, let me come back here for a second. If I click on this I, obviously the parent of this I is this table data and not the row. But it doesn't matter because I actually put the div inside this table data here. So even the parent of this, which is that, will find this because it's inside itself. And also if I click on something like this and the parent is that, if it searches inside itself, it will still find this div. So this is why it still works even with this font awesome there. Right, so this is all good. The only thing that remains now is to add the proper let me click here and see, so that you know that it's actually showing details for a very particular order. So I'm going to echo out this ID right here and echo it out there. Okay, so now let's refresh. So if I click here, you see that it says these are order details 2. That's the ID right there. If I click here, it's order details 1. Okay, so yeah, and then we have that there. Alright, so in the next video we're going to see how to actually add the orders there, since now we can display this thing and close it. We're going to see how to actually add the details, but before that we can put a close button over here. So what I'm going to do here to put a close button is to just I'm going to do this. I'm going to add a span and say close, something like that. And then what I will do here is, oh wait a minute, let me add some styles here for a second. I'll just say float right, like that. Okay, so there's a close button there, but if there's too much data here, that will be covered. So I think the best way to do this is to add a div instead. So let's add a div. Refresh. Okay, that will be much better because there's supposedly supposed to be on different lines here. So the only thing now is once we click on close, it's supposed to close. So now here, if I click on this and get the parent is not it's not going to be this table data. Okay, it's going to be a div. So all I can do is add an if statement. If the parent is a div, then move to the next parent. So my battery is low. Alright, so what we're going to do is, since we are going to add details, we need to add details anyway. Let's do everything in the next video. I'll see you then.